Standing next to me, coming to stage, please give a warm round of applause for Cheese Louise, everybody. Give it up for Cheese Louise. Give it up. Let's have a hand. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, students, tonight's lecture is on maximizing your benefits. If you can ever get a friggin' job. Once I had a job with benefits, but they said, I need to buy more. There's the Affleck duck. Well, now I have insurance against duck bites. Not if it's a mallard, not if it's a Muscovy, but only a Peking duck, and only if it's in a Chinese restaurant. But if that ever happens, I'm gonna make out big time. And then they said, you gotta get life insurance. I said, whoopee! I'm gonna die rich. Then I got home and I looked at the policy, the fine print. It wasn't that at all. It was life insurance, and I wasn't even married at the time. But then one of the benefits that came with the job that I didn't have to pay extra for eluded me. And that was sick leave. To take it, you had to have a doctor's excuse. But on my health plan, it took 2 weeks to get an appointment. But I was determined to maximize my benefits. So I called up Dr. Foot Fetish. I'm going to have an accident in 2 weeks, and I need an excuse for the ambulance driver. Well, the podiatrist, he said, stay off your feet. But that didn't help. I had a desk job. I was always off of my feet. Then my coworker, he said to try his personal physician, the proctologist. That's like rotor without the house call. This guy, he was the badass. He had hemorrhoids. And he said this doctor did miracles. Macrame, weaving, acupuncture. He says those hemorrhoids are now a beautiful thing. But I didn't want to look. But I tried out the proctologist who only said to me, don't sit. So now it worked. I was leaning. I went to a gastroenterologist. I think he wanted me to join some kind of cult because his prescription read Prilosec. And the generic name for that is the pretzel. It's a Buddhist snack. Well, then I decided to think outside the box. I went to a pediatrician. I said, Dr. Baby Guy, I hope I'm not too old for your specialty. He said my money was young enough. And further, you cannot sit, you cannot stand. And you're juvenile enough to join a cult. And you have a head like a newborn. He put me on formula. So now it worked. I was leaning on my belly, eating beech nut with a little spoon. And I'll tell you, that beech nut tobacco, that stuff's terrible. indigestion. So next I decided to think inside the box. I went to a gynecologist, and she says that I am pregnant, but it'll be a very, very long gestation. She was one of those Republican, right to life, creationist doctors. She says, I'll give birth to myself. I'll be born again. But I got maternity leave. Hallelujah! Thank you.
Give it up for Cheese Louise. Everybody give him a round of applause. Give it up for Cheese Louise. You hear that? Cheese, they're chanting for you, buddy. Cheese, cheese, cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, so relax.